Hello ocean people, welcome to the channel. I am Maria and this is Sea&me. If you are not new here, welcome back, ocean person. And today I will be answering 15 science related questions that I made up actually, but if you want someone else to answer these questions or some of these questions, I will leave the questions in the description box below, so feel free to use them. If you want to answer these questions and leave them in the description box below, the comment box below, feel free to do so as well. Just do whatever you want with the questions, or share, of course, the video. That's always a good thing to do if you want to show it to other people who would be interested as well. Without any further ado, let's go down to the questions. Did you always want to be a scientist? No. Because honestly, until university times, I was not really sure what being a scientist meant. I just wanted to be a marine biologist. I just knew for a very long time, since a fairly young age, that I really wanted to work in something related to the ocean. I said I wanted to be a marine biologist, but I did not really think what that entitled, what that meant. So I knew I wanted to work with something related to the ocean, and I always said I wanted to be a marine biologist, but to be a scientist and do science as I am doing today, no. I probably only thought about pursuing that as a career during my university years. What is your specific research field? My specific research field is marine biology, and my PhD more specifically is in marine microbiology. What is your favorite thing about your specific research field? So marine biology. Working with the ocean. That's honestly my favorite thing about marine biology, is that I get to do biology in the ocean. Two things that I love combined. What made you want to be a scientist, or a scientist in your field? So in marine biology in my case. Okay, I have a movie about the I have a Hollywood Maria. No, I have a film about this already, which I will put somewhere on the screen if you want to check that out, about more detailed how I became a marine biologist and why. But basically, I have had access to the ocean since I was a kid. And I've always loved it. At some point, as a very young child, I wanted to be a dolphin trainer. I know. Oops. But yeah, I didn't know what that meant back then. And at some point, when I saw the series Ocean Girl on TV, there was a marine biologist, and I completely fell in love with the series. And since then, I kind of say that I want to be a marine biologist. And it sticked, and now here I am. What is your first or most important memory that you associate with science? To science is going to visit my mom at work. So my mom was doing her master's degree in Georgia State University in Georgia, Atlanta, and in some days I was allowed to accompany her to her job to see what she was doing in the lab. She was doing her master's degree in microbiology. So I had access to these microscopes. I could see all these fungi under the microscope and bacteria, and for me this was super awesome, that you could not see something and then you look through these microscope and then you could see the tiny things moving and doing all sorts of weird stuff, and I really loved it. And maybe it's no wonder that I'm actually studying marine microbiology at the moment. So this was my first contact really with science. What was your scientific path until you reached where you are now? Again, this is also more explained in more detail in the video that I said before. However, very briefly, so high school in the scientific field, because in Portugal you can choose which field in the university at high school you already can go. You can go to literature, economics, sports, science. I chose science. Then biology, biology masters for 3 years. Then I did my master's degree in marine ecology for 2 years. Then I worked as a lab technician for 1 year in the lab where I'm currently doing my PhD. Then I applied for grants, and I got a PhD grant, and here I am now doing my PhD at the University of Vienna at the Microbial Oceanography group. What is your research about? My research specifically, I'm gonna try to make this brief. So I'm studying the bacteria and any kind of microbes that colonize plastic floating in the ocean. So as you probably have heard, there's a huge amount of plastic huge pieces, but mostly microplastics, so tiny, tiny pieces of plastics that are ending up in the ocean due to this increased production over the years. And it has been found that they are covered very fast by a layer of more microbes that just live attached to these plastics. And this layer is formed after just a couple of days of the plastics being in the ocean. So I am studying these microbes. I am studying the microbes that live attached to the plastics and see what they are doing there. If they are dangerous, if they are eating the plastic, who are they, if it's different between plastics found in different parts around the world. So yeah, that's my research. Very, very like broadly, that's what I'm studying. What is the coolest thing about your research? One thing I really like about my research is that it allows me to travel to places I would never travel if I would not be doing this. So going on cruises to different oceans around the world, and conferences and field trips or whatever. So this is a really cool part about my research topic, and I would say marine biology in general. But as my specific research topic, I don't want to go now into a discussion on how fundamental science is important for everything, but fundamental science, so understanding why things happen for the sake of understanding how things happen, is important. Otherwise we would never have any kind of applied science to begin with. But I do like, to be very honest, that I can see a direct importance of my research at some point. So something that in my lifetime, which means that the research I am doing now might actually be important to find solutions to a problem that is happening now. And I do like this about my research. What is your favorite thing about being a scientist? There are many things I like about being a scientist. One thing that I really like about being a scientist is how passionate scientists are about their work. So here's the thing, you will not come into science if your goal is to become a millionaire, because you will not probably be a millionaire in science. If your main goal in life is to become super rich, you will not come to science. Or if your main goal is to become super powerful, you will probably not come to science. So people who come to science are normal and stay in science for the rest of their lives are people who are passionate about their work. And this just transpires when you talk to the people, and it's very inspirational for us who are entering the field to see how these people love their jobs and how enthusiastic they are doing it. So this is one of the things I really love in science, besides working in science and figuring out things and the excitement of finding out stuff that no one has ever found before. It's all a really package of coolness, basically. Who is your favorite scientist? I know I made this question, but again, I don't have a favorite scientist, so I will name two scientists for two different reasons. Two marine biologists that I just really like. The first one is Hans Haas. Hans Haas was an Austrian marine biologist. That's why I'm naming him, because he was a very important name in marine biology and in underwater documentaries. He is a pioneer in making movies and making documentaries underwater, and also he's a pioneer in many things in diving. And he was a marine biologist, and he was Austrian. He actually was born in Vienna, I think, where I am currently doing my PhD. And Austria is a landlocked country, so it's kind of funny to see how one of the major names in marine biology actually comes from a landlocked country, and the country where I'm actually currently studying and doing my PhD in. The second scientist I'm going to name is Rachel Carson. Rachel Carson was also a marine biologist, and she was just a badass woman. So she is not known for her marine biology research mostly. Her major contribution to society was that she was responsible for beginning a very important environmentalist movement, if not one of the first environmentalist movements ever, kind of. And it was related to the use of pesticides and how harmful they were for human health. This led to a lot of modification in legislation, people becoming aware of how dangerous pesticides were, or certain pesticides were, and the effects they were having. So she was just a really badass lady for her time. Do you find inspiration in someone, and if yes, who? And who? I find in the same way that I don't have a favorite biologist or scientist of all time, I also do not have one person that inspires me. I have a whole group of them. I am very easily inspired, so if you can say that. So I am inspired by the people around me, by the hardworking people in my lab, by my hardworking parents, by the enthusiasm of sometimes people that I just see presenting and I just see, wow, this person really loves what she is doing, so I just really want to be like that, and this also motivates me. So I'm kind of inspired by bits of everyone around me and everyone that is passionate about their work and that just want me to be that way as well, and work hard and just accomplish something, so that at one day I hope I will be in that position to inspire someone as well. If you had to choose another field in science, what would it be? Okay, so here I put two options. So my specific field, so outside marine biology and outside biology. If I had to choose a field outside marine biology, it would probably be another biology field, or ecology. I'm kind of putting ecology and biology together in the same package. So yeah, just so you know, I would probably choose something related to ecology. Or terrestrial conservation, probably something related to conservation. Outside marine biology, let's see. Outside biology, I would say physics, probably. I was always really good at physics. My dad studied physics. I always really liked understanding how things worked from a physics point of view. It was a subject I was quite good at always in school and at university, and I like it. I kind of really liked it. What do you dislike more in science? Okay, so at the moment, if this is a very personal question, and it's related to the moment in my life. It's related to where I am at this point of my life in my career, and so I'm doing my PhD, and I have no clue what will happen afterwards. If I will stay in Vienna, if I will go somewhere to the other side of the world to continue. So basically what I want to say with all this is the instability that comes with science, especially in the beginning of your career. Okay, in which science subject were you worse at school? Chemistry. Oh, chemistry, oh my god. Okay, not all chemistry, organic chemistry. And it's funny because biological processes are so dependent on chemical processes. I mean, they are intertwined, but there was just something about organic chemistry that I never fully got to the bottom of. So I never completely understood some basic principles, which means that it led me to not understand a lot of things, and I tend to not really like subjects that I cannot understand. So I think that chemistry or organic chemistry is my nemesis. Maria, don't make excuses, you're just dumb. Last question. Oof, I've been talking for a while now, guys. I don't know how you listened to me for so long, but okay. What is your favorite thing about science? Science is awesome. Okay. Science is nothing more than the way that we have found to understand the world around us, to understand how we work, how the universe works, how everything works. And this has allowed us to create everything we can see today and allowed us to have the lifestyle we have today. And even though we do have all of this, science itself is selfless. Science exists solely for the purpose of understanding how things work. And this is what I truly like about science, is that it's selfless. Its purpose is to understand our world, understand how things function, understand how they interact with each other. And this ultimately can lead to us using this knowledge to create and build things, and that we currently are already doing and for sure will do so more in the future. So ocean people, this was it. Of course, if you want to answer these questions yourself, please feel free to use them. And I would be very interested to know if you have first of all, a favorite scientist, and if you do, please write down why, or scientists. This is something I really like to know, what people think about scientists throughout the years. And I also want to know if you have any specific scientific experience that you would like to share with the community here. So feel free, just write in the comments below, and I will be very happy to read them. Also, I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you in the next one.